Sir, don't say something.
Did you say
Yes,
me?
actually, I
Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, you did say that?
This is Bryce Rhodes, who's facing multiple charges, including murder. Bryce Rhodes is at the Jefferson District Court in Louisville, Kentucky, for his involvement in the tragic loss of 3 lives, among them 2 young boys. According to the police report, Rhodes killed the 2 teenagers because they witnessed him kill someone else. Since his arrest, Rhodes has exhibited unpredictable and sometimes violent behavior, necessitating his appearance in court in restraints and a spit guard. As if Rhodes' crimes were not outrageous enough, his reaction in court was even more dramatic. Rhodes showed non-compliance and frequently interrupted the judge.
Now, listen, stop talking. Have been... Are you done?
In spite of this, the judge informed Rhodes about his fresh charges and provided an opportunity to enter a plea. Yet, Rhodes remained unresponsive and uncooperative.
You've been charged with assault in the 4th degree, minor injury, terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree, with physical contact. New charges, I'm entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Would you like me to read the arrest warrant to you?
No, I'm not guilty.
Despite Rhodes' defiance, the judge set his bond and dismissed a duplicate case once it was served. Rhodes was assigned a public defender, but he continued to be uncooperative and made threatening statements directed at the court.
What you think where you live at? What you think at? None of that. I ain't do.
So you're saying you're going to find out where I'm out?
None of that. You got family, I'll be out.
Okay.
He was escorted back into custody, prompting the judge to express concern regarding Rhodes' threats against the court and urging the county attorney's office to take appropriate action.
That was a threat against the court. I think that I'm asking the county attorney's office to take that into account and consider what to do with that.
Due to his menacing conduct, Rhodes now faces an additional charge of terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree and intimidating a participant in the legal process. The legal proceedings against Bryce Rhodes are ongoing. However, this wasn't the only time a convict freaked out during their sentencing. Take, for example, the case of Sidney Newson, who caused a ruckus during his appearance before Southern District Judge Aubrey Rimes in Pike County Justice Court, facing a domestic violence charge. Don't be fooled by the facade of remorse. Newson's actions in the courtroom will shock you to the core. Initially composed, he reviewed paperwork until a tap on the table from a transport officer seemed to trigger a change. Eventually, Newson composed himself, but he was not ready to conclude the proceedings. Visibly annoyed and upset, Newson engaged in an argument with the judge, prompting the judge to motion for his removal. Initially, Newson seemed like he would obey, but soon he erupted. Grabbing a stack of papers, he threw them at the judge, initiating chaos. Court clerks rushed away. His mother screamed and jumped, while the lone transport officer struggled to maintain control. Newson's actions didn't stop there. He hurled a telephone at the judge. And knocked over a computer monitor. Judge Rimes decided that enough was enough, and it was time to regain control of his court. Despite Newson's continued resistance, Judge Rimes managed to restrain him, with Newson's brother getting involved. Eventually, more officials intervened to escort Newson out of the room. Once order was restored, Judge Rimes returned to the bench and resumed proceedings. Newson's brother was not charged with any crime and was removed from the court. Newson was charged with an additional charge of contempt of court and served 48 hours in jail. However, while Newson's behavior was shocking, it's nothing compared to the utter mayhem caused by Ricky Hand in court. This is Ricky Hand.
You just give me 40 years. Yes. Well, guess what? Sir, don't say something.
Who's facing charges for a series of robberies in Ohio. Ricky had been on a spree, hitting numerous local convenience stores late at night and fleeing with extra cash. However, his crime spree came to an abrupt halt the night he targeted John's drive-thru. Here, you can see the shop owner closing down for the night, unaware of the armed Ricky Hand lurking nearby. As Ricky approached the door, he was met by the armed owner, who fired shots at him to deter him. Following this shooting attempt, the shop owner promptly alerted the police.
Yeah, this is John's drive-thru, West Main Street. A guy just tried to rob me and I shot him.
Within days, Ricky sought medical attention for the bullet wounds he sustained that night, leading to his arrest and questioning by the police. While the crimes committed by Ricky are reprehensible, his conduct in court will make your blood run cold. When the case reached the courtroom, Hand was sentenced to 40 years.
Did you just give me 40 years?
The severe sentence was due to evidence of his involvement in a string of robberies across Springfield, Ohio. Upon hearing his fate, Ricky first inquired if he heard correctly.
Did you just give me 40 years, sir? Yes.
When the judge confirmed the sentence, this is how Ricky reacted. Following this courtroom incident, Ricky faced additional charges, including 5 counts of harassment with bodily substances, 1 for his attorney, and 4 for the deputies present. He was also charged with obstructing official business and retaliation. However, just when you thought you'd seen it all, another convict surpasses Ricky's wild courtroom display. Enter 21-year-old Milton Watts, facing a warrant for his arrest due to failing to appear on a domestic violence charge. When questioned by Judge Chris Green, Watts cited a family emergency for his absence, but the judge wasn't accepting any excuses today.
You were supposed to be here last month. You did not appear. Why weren't you here?
I had work. My mom didn't show up. Somebody died in the family. There was no reason for me to be here.
Little did anyone expect that Watts' response to their sentence would overshadow the outrageousness of their crime. Representing himself after his attorney withdrew, Watts attempted to handle the situation. Yet, his grasp of the legal process wasn't strong. The judge questioned his understanding of the law, and Watts responded with an attitude.
You're a lawyer?
Nope.
You want to talk to me about me at bond with me? What do you want to tell me?
I don't really give a to be honest with you.
The judge did not take kindly to this and sentenced Watts to 30 days for contempt of court.
That's going to cost you 30 days in the county jail for contempt.
However, Watts' attitude worsened as he swore at the judge, leading to more penalties.
That's 60. You want to go for 90? That's 90 more. That's 180. That's 306.
I'm working at McDonald's. Now I gotta come here and my life up. You.
Despite pleas from his mother and sister, Watts remained defiant, escalating the situation.
Contempt, so.
He's got mental problems. He's not on medication.
Ma'am, I don't care.
I don't give a
No,
either.
stop.
Everybody. You.
No, it's
The power.
Good.
The power.
Good.
And requiring court staff and additional deputies to intervene. Initially handing Watts a 360-day sentence, Judge Green later reduced it to 90 days for his initial domestic violence charge after a calmer reflection. Eventually, Watts pleaded no contest to his initial court charge, receiving a 5-day jail sentence. However, let's compare the jaw-dropping reaction of Watts to the astonishing outburst by Dexter Johnson during his sentencing. Dexter Johnson is facing murder charges in Houston after he and 4 others carjacked Maria Aparece and Hui Ngo, her boyfriend, back in 2006. The gang held the couple at gunpoint, robbed them of their belongings, and then drove them around Houston. Tragically, Maria Aparece and her boyfriend were shot in the head and left in the woods. Their bodies were discovered 5 days later. While the crimes committed by Johnson and his gang were abhorrent, their courtroom conduct will leave you speechless. Throughout the trial in the Harris County courtroom, 19-year-old Johnson remained expressionless, fixated on the defense table. But a flood of emotions engulfed him when the final decision was rendered: the death penalty.
Dexter Darnell Johnson, the jury has found you guilty of capital murder. In accordance with the laws of the state of Texas, this court hereby assesses your punishment of death.
Tears streamed down his face as he glanced towards his family, perhaps offering them a last farewell. He seemed bewildered, unsure of what to do next. Then, a sudden explosion of rage shattered the courtroom's calm. Amidst this turmoil, Johnson's relatives were overcome with grief, their cries filling the air. Two family members collapsed, requiring immediate medical attention. In the midst of this tumult, Judge Denise Collins reached out to console those impacted by this dramatic outburst, offering words of solace and support. She extended her sympathies to the parents of Maria Aparici, the woman Johnson had tragically assaulted and killed. However, while it was clear that Dexter Johnson wasn't happy that he was sentenced to death, his reaction to his sentence was similar to the case of Penelope Soto.
Did you say
yes,
me?
Actually,
Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, you did say that?
Whose initial arrest occurred after a concerned citizen reported a woman lying on the ground. When police arrived, Soto was standing but appeared disheveled and emotional. She openly admitted to being on Xanax and confessed to having more in her purse. Upon searching her bag, the police found 3 packets of Xanax. However, the real shocker came when Soto unleashed her madness in the courtroom. Soto was charged for drug possession. During the trial, Soto displayed signs of being affected by the Xanax. She laughed, played with her hair, and seemed unstable. Judge Jorge Rodriguez Chomat, inquiring about her assets for bail determination, asked about her jewelry.
How much would you say your jewelry is worth?
This question seemed to amuse Soto, and she burst into laughter. Judge Chomat calmly reminded her that the court was not a club, and the question was serious.
It's not a joke, you know, we're not in a club now.
Soto, still smiling, apologized and explained her laughter, mentioning the jewelry's high cost. Her actions were so erratic that the judge had to ask,
Have you had any kind of drugs in the last 24 hours?
Eventually, Judge Chomat set her bail at $5,000 and allowed her to leave. However, Soto's theatrics continued. When Soto heard her bail conditions and realized she was free to go, she shouted,
Bye-bye.
Adios.
The judge, fed up, smiled and called her back, then increased her bond to $10,000, prompting this reaction.
Count one will be 10,000.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
She erupted, giving the judge the middle finger and using explicit language. The judge had the final say, calling her back and sentencing her to 30 days in jail for contempt of court.
Bring her back again. Did you say
Yes,
me?
Actually, I
Did you say that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Oh, you did say that?
I'm not
I
gonna
find you in
lie.
direct criminal contempt. 30 days in the county jail.
Just 4 days later, Soto appeared in court again. This time, she was remorseful and apologetic, displaying a very different demeanor. She offered her apologies to Judge Chomat for her earlier behavior, and the judge accepted her apology, vacating her sentence. However, she was required to complete a rehabilitation program. If you thought these reactions were shocking, you'd be amazed at this video of the scariest criminals ever in court.